Hello everyone and welcome back my dear students to the offline video series of biology of class 6. So today in this video we are going to revise lesson number 1, the leaf. So before we start with the revision of lesson number 1, I will tell you the points which we are going to study and revise in this lesson. So first of all we are going to revise two most important parts of the plants, that is the root system and the shoot system. So after that we are going to study about the parts of shoot system. Stem, leaf, parts of leaves, what are the functions of leaves, what are the modifications in the leaves. All these are the topics which we are going to cover in this video within short. So let us start with the revision of lesson number 1. The part which is underground, such part is known as the root system of a plant. The characteristic of root system are: the first characteristic is it grows downward into the soil away from the sunlight and towards the force of gravity. Second characteristic is it has one main thick primary root which has many sub-branches. The end of each sub-branch has fine hair-like projections which are known as root hairs. The primary root with all its branches and the root hair is known as root system. As I have told you that roots are the parts which are present in the underground of the soil. So there are two main types of root system in a plant. First one is the taproot system and second one is the fibrous root system. So first of all we are going to study about the taproot and then we will proceed further with the fibrous root. A taproot system has a main thick branch which is called as primary root, and from that primary root many small hair like structures are coming out and they are known as secondary root. So together this primary root and secondary roots makes taproot system. This type of root system is mainly found in dicot plants like gram, pea, etc. Dicot plants are the plants whose fruits have two cotyledons or two parts of their seeds. The next topic is fibrous root system. The fibrous root system has one main cluster of small roots or branches coming out or arising from the stem. Usually this root system is found in monocot plants like maize and grass. Monocot plants are the plants whose seeds have one cotyledon. Shoot system is the part of a plant which emerges above the soil. That means the part of a plant which is visible by our naked eye. For example, stem, branches, leaf, trunk, bark, flowers, fruits of tree. So, a shoot system of a plant mainly consists of stem, buds, fruits, flowers and trunk. So, the first part of shoot system is stem. Stem is the main and the aerial part of a plant. Why it is known as aerial part of a plant? Because it is a connection between roots from the ground to the leaves and branches and trunk in the air. So, stem is considered as the main aerial part of a plant. The part of stem from where new leaves or new branches originate is known as nodes. N-O-D-E-S, nodes. And the part of stem from where new nodes arrives, that part is known as internodes. Here we have completed the first part of shoot system, that is stem. Now we are going to proceed further with the second part, that is nothing but the leaf. This is the most important part by this lesson point of view. The green flattened part of stem which arises from the nodes of the stem are known as leaves. However, leaves do not grow continuously. Once they attain their full size, their growth stops. So, let us study about structure of a leaf. The structure of a leaf mainly consists of three parts. First one is the petiole, second one is the midrib, and third one is the lamina. So let us study with the help of a picture in order to understand it properly. So a typical leaf has parts like petiole, lamina, midrib, vein, leaf margin, etc. Petiole is the basal part of a leaf which is also connected to the stalk. It is attached to the stem at the node. An auxiliary bud is present at the axil of the leaf. Sometimes leaves are directly attached to the stem without a petiole. Such leaves are known as sessile leaves. The green, flat and broad part of leaf is known as lamina or leaf blade. The outer edge of these lamina is known as leaf margin. Petiole further continues into the lamina as the midrib. It laterally gives out fine branches called as veins, as shown in the picture. Petiole, midrib, vein conduct water and food. The next topic which we are going to study is types of leaves. There are two main types of leaves. First one is the simple leaf and second one is the compound leaf. In case of simple leaf, lamina is undivided. That means lamina is only one piece. And in case of compound leaf, lamina is further divided into small leaflets. So, let us have a look on the examples of simple and compound leaf. The next topic which we are going to study is classification of leaves. Leaves are classified according to their shape, size, margin, etc. So let us study about different types of classifications given in this lesson. On the basis of margin, leaves are classified as a complete or entire margin, toothed or serrated margin, wavy margin, and spinous margin. The examples for all these are the leaf of peepal, China rose, Ashoka and mango, and prickly poppy. On the basis of shape, leaves are classified as needle-shaped, oval-shaped, heart-shaped, oblong, circular, and tapering. The examples for all these types of shapes are pine, guava, peepal, banana, lotus, and ashoka. But two main functions of leaves which are very important for the growth of the plant and for human beings and environment, and that are photosynthesis and transpiration. So first we will study about photosynthesis and then we will proceed further with the transpiration. So the process of conduction of food or preparing the food is photosynthesis. The term photosynthesis means combining the light. Photosynthesis is a word which arrives from two different words. Photo, which means light, and synthesis, that means to combine or to prepare. So, in the process of photosynthesis, water and carbon dioxide combines together to form glucose and oxygen. There are various elements which are required for the process of photosynthesis. So let us study about different parts or different elements which are required for photosynthesis and how actually this process takes place. All green plants in nature have their own capacity and method to prepare their own food. That is, they are known as autotrophs. Auto means self and trophs means nourishment. This mode of nutrition is called as autotrophic nutrition. Why only green plants can prepare the food? Because green plants has chlorophyll pigments in their leaves. These chlorophyll pigments play a very important role for the process of photosynthesis. Chlorophyll pigments helps to conduct and prepare food and water and to convert that food in the form of glucose. So, the factors which are required for the process of photosynthesis are chlorophyll pigments which are readily available in the leaf by nature, sunlight which they get from the sun, water which they get from the soil by absorption of water through roots, and then it is given to all the parts of the plants. Carbon dioxide which is present in environment. The next topic which we are going to study in this lesson is modification of leaf. Sometimes a plant is not capable to stand alone without any support. That means the stem of the plant is very weak that it requires any kind of external support. So in that case, the leaves are also modified according to that naturally by nature. So let us study some of the modifications of leaves. So there are three important modifications of leaves. First is the tendril, second is the scale leaves, and third is the spines. So let us study all these three types of modifications of leaves with the help of pictures. So the first type of modification of leaf is leaf tendril. In this case, the leaf tendrils are usually found in plants who has weak stem. So these leaves are being modified into wiry coil-like structures which are called as tendrils. Usually these tendrils are very sensitive to touch, and as they touch any object, they coil around it and take the support of that particular object and climb up. The example for leaf tendril is sweet pea. The second type of modification is spines. Leaves are being modified into spines to reduce the water loss. The example for spines can be cactus. In prickly poppy, leaves bear spines on the margin. So prickly poppy can also be considered as one example for spines. The last modification is scale leaves. In some plants like onion and ginger, thick and fleshy or dry scale leaves are present. So their function is to store the food and protect the bud. So onion and ginger can be the examples for scale leaves. Now we are going to study about insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are the plants which eat insects as their daily food. They have a particular and different structure modified in their body which helps them to trap the insects in them. Later, this insect is being digested and digestive juice and nutrients are being generated from that digested insect. So, here in this lesson, we are going to study about Venus flytrap, bladderwort and pitcher plant. So let us have a look on the pictures and study more about them. So the first insectivorous plant is pitcher plant. In pitcher plant, lamina is modified into pitcher. The size of this pitcher varies from 10 to 20 centimeter. So when an insect like an ant sits on the rim of the pitcher, suddenly the lid of that pitcher closes. At the bottom of the pitcher, some enzymatic juices are being secreted which digest the animal protein. The pitcher plant is usually found in Garo and Khashi hills in Meghalaya. The pitcher plant utilizes the insect's protein by converting it into nitrates. The second type of insectivorous plant is Venus flytrap. The leaves of Venus flytrap has long pointed hairs. It is divided into two parts having midrib in between like a hinge. When an insect visits the leaf of Venus flytrap, it closes its two parts and traps the insect inside it. The insect is then digested by digestive juices which are secreted by the plant. The third type of insectivorous plant is bladderwort. Bladderwort has highly segmented leaves. Some of the segments of these leaves form small bladder-like structures. The bladder has the entry point which can be closed. The insect enters into it but cannot come out and gets digested inside it through the digestive enzymes which are being secreted by this plant.